Today is Friday, March 24th, and it is the 7th day of my fast. We are well into the evening, so it's basically just after when I would have ate my last full meal a week ago today. In the meantime, I've had 2 apples, I've had 2 bananas, I've had 3 granola bars at 140 calories each, for a grand total of 840 carbs. Thursday at work, I was mostly bogged down with paperwork. Day was kind of dragging. I was getting a little droopy-eyed, so I did drink my emergency can of Coke, one of the little mini ones, for 90 carbs. So in the last 7 days, I've consumed 930 carbohydrates. But that might be off by whatever the fruit is, plus in celebration of my 1 week making it to this point, which wasn't at all unexpected on my part, unless something horrible came up. I did allow myself 1 dill pickle spear just recently, so that was a treat. I had been looking forward to something salty. So my energy level is actually pretty high, pretty intense. It's definitely a different beast to be consuming a set amount of calories each day than going on a complete water fast. When I'm doing the water fast, I get different effects completely. It's very by the 10th day, I feel like I'm kind of walking and floating. I feel light. I'm assuming it's not very good for me to be on a water fast for any real length of time. But I really haven't had a craving to break this diet. As usual, I'm making a list of foods that I do want to eat when I'm done with this. It's kind of interesting, whenever I think of something like, I really want some Little Caesars pizza when I'm done with this, or I need a brownie ice cream cake. I just write it down, and I actually still have my list from last year, and ended up with 40 some odd items on it. I think last year I fasted for, I want to say 16 days, but it had 40 some odd items on it. I ended up only eating about 15 of them, 20 of them. So, it basically keeps my mind off of food. If I don't get to do something to kind of get it out of my system, write it down, then I keep thinking about it. So I make a list. And then once I write it down, it's done. Don't think about it anymore. But it's been going very well. Today I made a mistake. I didn't drink my glass of water in the morning. And then I didn't really have any good water at work. So I was more dehydrated than anything, and being dehydrated plus fasting is usually a bad combination. I definitely felt more lethargic because of it, doing nothing. So when I got home, I powered down 2 glasses of water. I just finished a third, and my water, I measured it out, it's 11 ounces per glass. I'm only drinking about 44 ounces of water a day, which is probably more liquid than I would normally drink. But I'm not entirely sure on that. So that's what I'm drinking. I might have to up that a little bit, but my urine is about the right color. So I'm wearing my usual robe plus socks plus boxers. Let's get a weight on me. I know where I should fall. $176.8 pounds. Okay. So obviously still losing pretty well, pretty good rate. 7 days, I think when I first started this, I was at 188 on the camera. So maybe 12 pounds in 7 days. I mentioned in the last video I was actually closer to 190 the day before. So closing in on 2 pounds a day. I'm trying to keep my water up because it's real easy to not drink water, like I've said several times in these videos, because I don't want to go taste the well water. And obviously you lose a lot of weight if you're not drinking any water. You dehydrate pretty quickly, so I'm trying to avoid that. The first time that I did a major fast, and I started these major fasts because my work started to do a wellness program, and they had the option, you did you fast the day before, when they take your blood to check your blood glucose? And I thought, kind of tongue-in-cheek, it'd be funny to fast for a couple days, just to try to skew their numbers. And usually that just drops my blood glucose in the toilet because I haven't eaten anything and I'm real lightheaded. For those first 2 or 3 times that I did it, I didn't eat anything. Didn't hardly drink any water either, so my blood glucose was in the 50-60 range, upper 60s. So, but in the course of that, kind of childish, kind of fun, I found out I really have no problem fasting for these periods. So my goal would be every year before the health and wellness, as soon as basically I was able to schedule it, which was usually a month out, I start fasting. So my longest fast was, I think, 25, 26 days, and that was a complete fast except for occasional water. And I broke it on one day. I was out driving and I just suddenly felt real weak and woozy, and I didn't want to be on the road like that. I went into the local gas station. I got a can of Moon Mist soda, which is a Faygo brand, which is interesting because they have it in Wisconsin. They didn't have it here when I first moved here. And I got a bag of cookies. I just ate a whole bag of cookies on Moon Mist soda. My mom, growing up, she had problems with her weight too. She would go. She never ate with me really. She'd make food for me, but she wouldn't eat it. And I remember when I was 8 or 9, we had to have an intervention. Basically, they put her into a rehabilitation facility. She was down to 80 pounds, I want to say, maybe even less. So she's always had problems with maintaining weight. She had an episode that was really hard on her when she was taking some medication, and it caused her to gain a lot of weight. And she told me, she wasn't eating anything. She hadn't eaten anything in weeks, but she couldn't lose the weight, and she was just gaining a lot of weight. So there wasn't a lot she could do. She was always afraid that I would pick that up from her. And I think for the most part I eat healthy. I mean, these fasts probably are a little bit OCD or something. But I've never had a problem with them. I mean, when I was in college, I didn't live on campus, I lived at home. I never had real money with me. I didn't have credit cards, so I just wouldn't eat. And there was a block of 3 days most years where I'd try to get all my classes on 3 separate days, so it'd be 3 days to book solid class, and I usually wouldn't eat those 3 days. And that's never been a problem. So I'll update this video the next time we get a chance. I'm still aiming for 10 days. So it'll be Monday evening before I eat again. I think that'll be good enough. My wife was planning on going out to eat with me this weekend, and she was trying to get me to eat half of an appetizer, and she was really upset that I wouldn't do that. The first day of fasting is the hardest, so you don't want to break it in the middle. You want to get as much out as you can once you get into that fasting mode. So I'll update this when I get a chance.